One thing I've realised from doing all of this is that every morning proving to yourself that you're committed to the plan, that you actually want to do this. And that's probably the most important breakthrough I've ever had. Sticking to the plan, trusting in the plan and in yourself that you're actually going to do what you say you're going to do. And that's the type of man I want to be. I don't want to be tiptoeing around my own plans. If I've committed to something, then I want to say that I'm going to do it. But trusting yourself that you're actually going to go through the plan is so important. It gives you that self-confidence for future things. Because without that confidence, you're actually going to follow through with what you say you're going to do. And what's the point? There's a quote I really like. If you're not willing to do the things that it takes to accomplish those goals, then you should free yourself from having them. Because it'll just be eternal torture. And I think it's got to a point now in my life where it's harder to stay the same. It's now become untenable to stay the version that I was. And I'm doing it. I'm actually living the plan. The plan that I said I was going to do. The plan that I actually put in motion. This wasn't given to me. This was made by me. And that's powerful. Never done the Stairmaster before. Let's see if it's bad as I think it's going to be. It's as bad as I thought. Oh, my legs are burning. I'm dripping. But I feel fantastic. It feels good to finally take pride in myself. To finally not feel that pressure, that other me breathing down my neck. This week I've already lost a ton of weight, and I'll go into details later in the video, but it feels good. This isn't just about losing fat. I've already proven to myself that I can do that with multiple different methods. This is more about proving to myself that I can trust myself again. That I will do what I say I will do. That I can keep promises to myself, to my future self. And that's a skill. That's very much a skill that must be nurtured in all of us. So this is where I'm starting, and there's no visible difference between here and the one I showed you in July, because there is no difference. I'm still the same build, still the same weight, everything's the same. I started this particular leg of the journey at 374 pounds, which is slightly higher than last time. And through the fasting, through the multiple jobs, through the walking home, through the gym, through the walking to work, I've lost this week 11.4 pounds, which I am so happy about. That's nearly a stone if you do stones. And it's just, granted, it's mostly water weight before anyone says, I know, but I feel so much better already. I feel less bloated. I feel so much lighter. I feel more flexible. And I can already feel it. So it's not dramatic, obviously. It shouldn't be dramatic at this point, but it's visible. At least it's visible to me, not visible on my body, but it's visible to how I feel. I feel different. And that's partly because I've gone through what I said I was going to do. So that mental weight has lifted as well as physical weight, but it just feels so good. And I'm so glad that we're now on the path. My gym sessions and walking to and from work have been consistent. They've been very, very difficult. I'm recording this on Sunday. I'm only now sort of recovering my lower body because they have been hit hard, as you can imagine. I'm probably like halfway, and it's hard. Back's hurting, sweating like mad, but it's good. I'm getting stronger, I'm losing weight. My feet are hurting, my back, my hips, but it's all like good hurting. It's just through exercise. It's going from the sofa to probably an extreme amount of exercise, at least for someone my size. It's around 4 hours of walking every day, or just under, if you include my 2 active jobs. And then I've got a 8-hour stint in between, my main job, where I just sit down, which I think works out well because then I can sort of rest a little bit. And this isn't about being shredded tomorrow. I know I'm not going to. This is a 3-month, 6-month, 12-month plan broken into steps. but the momentum I am now building feels monumental. And this momentum has largely been built by a new daily routine that I had to implement. Had to be a new structure to my day to fit everything in. And that's the biggest change so far. And it feels slightly uncomfortable. It's not a change in necessarily how I'm eating or how I'm living necessarily. It's how I'm structuring my days. I have to be strategic about this because I only have a certain amount of time, but I have a lot to get in. But I can see now that a lot can be done in the day if it's structured correctly. The super early mornings, the training, the walk to work and back from work, it's not an easy structure, but it is helping me complete and achieve these goals and stay in control. And that control is not something I've felt for such a long time, if ever. I can't recall a single time in my life where I felt this in control. And it is early days. I'm not preaching to the choir. It's anything can go wrong at any point. But I do feel in control. I feel like this is it. Now it's time for debt attack, and this is my weekly update of what I've been doing with my debt this week and if I've paid anything off. And this week I can say that I have. I've made £107 this week, mostly through selling through CEX, and a few people owe me some money and they came in at the same time. So I paid off £170 into my Vanquish, and Vanquish will be paid off at the end of this month completely. £170 is pretty small, but it's £170 that I did not have last week. And that is purely or mostly through action. So that wouldn't have happened if I hadn't have taken action, which feels good. And it feels good to declutter a little bit. Once Vanquish is gone, that'll be one less chain on me. And we're very close to just focusing on the big numbers, on that consolidation loan. Every payment now, along with every pound I lose and every morning I get up at the right time, is proof to myself that I'm actually doing it. And I'm winning these small battles. And I keep talking about this, and maybe I feel a bit poetic talking about it, but it is so important to me. And it's probably so important to you. It's so important in general for when you're starting out in a big hole that you may have dug yourself, probably have dug yourself, and you're trying to rise out. This self-confidence on this early-ish stage is so important. And I'm realizing that now because all these small wins, these small financial wins, these small health wins, they're building blocks so I can get higher and higher and higher. So along with those two things I sold last week, my phone and my Xbox headset, which I just forgot to sell with my console when I sold them. I've got a few more things and I'm gonna aim to get them sold this week. They'll at least be listed this week in some way. They won't be able to go to CX, but they'll go onto Facebook Marketplace or to eBay or Vinted, something like that. And it just feels good to declutter these things because one, they've just been lying around for a while and they do have value. But we are getting towards the end of everything that I can sell. I've even considered selling my TV because really I won't have much time to use it. And then I keep telling myself, oh, when I've actually got out of debt and stuff, I'll just buy like a really, really nice TV, you know? So those are the sorts of ways I'm trying to worm it in my mind to just kind of like get as much money as possible. I don't know if I will. And it begs the question because these things have been lying around for a long time. So why haven't I sold them yet? I've mentioned it before, I think, on this channel. I've sold a few things CX. Obviously I sold my games consoles CX. That gave me a big boost that month. But you know, that headset's been lying around for a while and I've known that it was around, was it £23 or £30? That's just a quick win. You know, you don't have to pay postage to CX or you just go into town. But why haven't I been doing that? And I don't know, to be honest. I think I've just become so docile and comfortable with how I was living before, even though I was begging myself for change. I wasn't doing these things, and that goes for health as well. There's loads of small things you can do, and it does beg the question when there's like really obvious things you can do and that are actually really easy to do. They wouldn't put you out in any way. All I had to do was put them in a box and print a label, which I have a label printer. So it was just, there was no friction at all. So there's an interesting psychology there, which I'm now attempting through this schedule. You know, the early mornings, the sprint towards the finish line will hopefully combat that. And it has so far. It is, obviously I need to change how I think about these small wins. Because yes, they are small, but £107 lifts a weight off my back. And everything I sell is another weight off my back. Until I've got nothing else to sell, and then we'll have to figure something else out. These are just extras. As I said, the 3 jobs are my main income. And those 2 cleaning jobs, they're the debt busters. And that's why I got them in the first place. This is just the first week, of course. And you might be thinking, well, he's got plenty of time to actually mess up. And that's true. Momentum is fragile. But I can feel it now. I can feel it mentally, physically, financially. It's all coming together. So I've just got to replicate what I did last week and keep doing that until the end of December. And it's not necessarily about perfection. It's about persistence. Yes, the plan is brutal, but it is simple. So there's not really any way I can fall off unless I just decide not to do it. But it is more about persistence. It's more about showing up. And that's where the wins are made. That's where the needle moves. I think if you do something 1,000 times, that's going to be a better result than if you do something 10 times. Obviously, that's logical. Even if you do those 10 times reasonably well, even if you only did it once after 1,000 tries, that one try is going to be, I believe, infinitely better because you've had so many more reps on the thing. I think I truly understand now that I need to focus on the daily actions rather than on the big overarching goal. Because as long as you can keep those daily actions in line, the goal will just come as a byproduct of those actions. And if I can keep stacking these small wins, by winter's end, I'll be a completely different person. Everything changes. And next week, I'll be back with progress. I'll be showing you if I hit those debt milestones, if I sold those things, if I've made any more money, and how much more weight I've lost. And just what I've learned in general, because every day I'm learning something more. If you're trying to climb your own mountain, just keep going. You'll build that momentum back too. Just keep showing up every day and you'll get it back. I promise you, because that is what's happening to me. And it feels fantastic. That's it. Take care. Bye-bye.